we'd like to welcome our speaker, Rohit Mehta. Rohit is practice head QAT at Pratham Software, and he would be delivering an interactive talk session on taking a minimalistic approach to securing SaaS platforms. To know more about Rohit, please go through the below link. So over to Rohit now. Thank you. Yeah,
Hello
so
everyone. So I hope my voice is audible. Is it audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let me share my screen first. So let me know my screen is visible to you guys.
Yes.
Okay. So today we are going to talk about what are the minimalistic approach to secure a SaaS-based applications or SaaS-based architecture or platform applications. So few of the people are thinking that how this topic is directly impacting the testing part or QA part, right? So when we talk about SaaS-based architecture applications, right, we have a multi-architecture application where we have front-end, back-end database. We have in between load balancers and Kubernetes or Dockerize deployment, right? So in this scenario, there are a lot of places where one service is interacting between with another service, right? So there is a lot of options or a lot of loopholes where sometimes developer miss or as a tester we miss to think about, and the people who are pretty much expert in cyber security, right, they do the breach and damage the business, correct? So today our approach will be to understand what minimalistic, not the major part, not in between, what can be the minimalistic, minimum, very minimum thing which as an engineer we should think that or take care so that we will create our applications keeping in consideration those SaaS-based minimalistic securing security approaches. So this session will be pretty much focusing toward practical examples also, like in the history, what happened and how it happened and how it can be saved. We will touch base all these part. So with this, I am kicking off my session. So I'll talk about what are the major UK business security breaches between 2018 to 2025. So in 2018, a British Airways data breach, which cost around 40 lakh customer data and compromised 20 million euro, and a lot of fine has been pushed on them. After that, we have Interserve cybersecurity breach. Again, it's a big construction firm attacked due to outdated security tools they are using and big 4.4 million ICO fine, right? And third one was advanced ransomware incident. One of the SaaS provider hit by ransomware and a lot of penalty has been imposed on them. Move it file transfer vulnerability. It's a again a 0 day law impact BBCBA boots Zilli's data leak. So this was some tool which was using by any organization to transfer the files from one server to another server. And April 2005, I think mostly you people knows that Mark and Spencer has been attacked, cyber attacked, and 300 million loss was reported by SaaS vendor, one of the vendor who was serving MNS. It was happened due to them. So this is the major breaches which we have faced in the UK business from 2018 to 2025. So let's see what is the impact of these SaaS security gaps. If any gap comes into the picture, what happened overall in terms of team morale or productivity, right? So developer burnt out on the top because when we have these type of security vulnerability incident happens, right? So morale of the team, morale of the developer goes down and they'll feel that they are the real culprit, right? So this is not the right picture, but this happens. So Q and DevOps pressure. So there is always fatigue from if we get something, we have to push the changes as a secure patch or some patch releases again. We have to push and DevOps needs to deploy them. Q have to test them. So a lot of pressure on them to see what are the SaaS security gaps if coming up into the picture, how to safeguard them with their latest patches, right? So sometime it happens that the team lost their velocity because feature development, what are we are targeting right now, we have to stop them, and immediately we have to come and fix those SaaS security gaps or cyber security gaps which found in the products. Blame culture risk, unclear security ownership causes finger pointing because in our traditional whatever we are doing as a day-to-day activity, no one is responsible or accountable for these type of security bugs, right? So someone says that's a problem due to DevOps, some people says QA miss it, some says developer miss it, right? So again a blame culture comes up. And last but not the least, onboarding delays, right? So whenever new member comes into the picture, and if any product already faced a lot of SaaS based or security gaps, bugs, right? Then we have to strengthen our security practices. And due to this, new member onboarding will take time because a lot of certifications, a lot of checks has been pushed on the team before onboarding any new resource to the project. So what are the impacts which come on the business due to these security gap, right? So one of the biggest impact is reputation damage. So the company which faces this damage, it's a loss of their reputation because the product lost the trust from the customers. Legal cost also involved because if something broke somewhere and any vendor or any customer faced a penalty or money related attack due to that cyber security, then legal pictures also comes in, heavy penalty also pushed on the vendors who created these type of systems. Investor scrutiny, right? So intense oversight and funding risk is there if your product is exposed to SaaS based challenges, right? So your future or your current investors also uh, see a like the product is not doing good and they will cut down the funding. And also this is also one of the challenge, revenue loss also come into the picture. So people decline the subscriptions and renewables, or your vendor or your customer started cut down the team size or moving to the next vendors. So these type of problems also start coming. And customer churn, right? So clients reconsidering you back as a team for their product might be go to the toss because they think this team or this organization have created these type of system in past or not. So these type of big business impacts come on the picture due to the SaaS security gaps into the product. So now it's time to rethink about SaaS security, right? So whenever we talk about our IT, right? So we are majorly focused on three pillars: people, process, and technology, right? And the irony of our SaaS security tools is more tool we add, the less secure we often become. So this is an irony in our technology that we are trying to make our product more secure, adding more tool, more security, more logging. But the thing is this, the more we add, we are less secure. So we'll see how this practically one step by step. So we'll talk about on these three pillars, this complete today's 30-40 minutes talk on these three pillars: people pillar, process, and technology. So on these three pillars, I have designed this complete chat or discussion on minimalistic approach. So we are not moving towards simplified, not towards complex. We will talk about the minimalistic approach. So in the high level, when we talk about the people pillar, right? Security awareness and training. Process pillar, we have to streamline our security incident and response, and technology automate the security task. So this is the high level, and now we will discuss one step by step. So why minimalism matter in SaaS-based security? Because you can think that we can create a complex also, simple also. Why we are talking on the minimalistic? Because complexity is the enemy of security. The complex system, whatever we design for security, right? It will be very difficult to maintain that. So more moving part, more risk. As I told you, right, in our SaaS, there are a lot of microservices, a lot of environments, a lot of code deployment services and micro. So as much as we have the moving part, the complexity and the risk of the security will goes on. So every unnecessary IAM policy, every forgotten S3 bucket permission, every misconfigured cost setting, it's all up adds up and messed up. So whenever we'll create a lot of IAM policy, lot of S3 bucket, this process will use this S3, lot of hundreds of buckets, hundred of lambdas, hundred of the things will adds up and will create a big chaos to us. So we'll see how minimalism approach will help us. So when we talk about services, managing numerous services efficiently, how we can manage different and number of services efficiently, what are the different environment we can take up and deploy, what are the microservices we will create using SaaS-based security to handle them very smoothly and efficiently, and the code deployment, the daily code pushed by the developer, how we can make them secure. So the pitfall of complexity in SaaS security, right? So SaaS security failure are rarely about not having enough tool. They are usually about misconfiguration, untrained team, and broken processes. So this is the major part where the team lacks, because we all knows that number of services are available, number of clouds are available, and on teams, different DevOps, developers, testing. But the thing is we are not able to understand what are the right configurations for them. When we talk about one of the case of Accenture S3 leak 2017, right? Accenture, which is already a Fortune 500 company, right? So it left multiple S3 bucket publicly accessible, leaking 137 GB of credential and API data. So the reason is because they didn't configure their AWS S3 bucket file configuration file properly. We have an option of restrict public bucket, ignore public ACL, block public ACL, and block public policy. So they have configured that bucket manually, I don't know, but the thing is this, sorry, the thing is this, they have made everything as a false. So what minimalistic fix we can do whenever we are exposing any S3 bucket, we'll just create some of the Terraform script and put at these parameter, block public ACL, block public policy, ignore public ACL, and restrict public, all will make true to make and safeguard it from the outer world, so that the internal services can only take the data and whatever they have to do. So our first approach is people, how people can build a security first culture. So no technology can save you from team that's not aligned to the security. So if your team is not properly aligned on to security, none of the tool or no technology can save you. So for this, first we have to create the security champions. We have to create security expert in our development team and our whatever testing team or anywhere, that these guys should at least know what are the, if I'm using, let's suppose, Java Hibernate, what are the those libraries or those frameworks which I can use, Spring Boot or anything, ingest in my framework, so that they will handle minimalistic security at least. Okay, whatever the tech stack is supporting to us. Reward vulnerabilities. So whomsoever recognize and find a vulnerability, we have to reward them. Okay, so this is also one of the recommendation. And micro training. So we can start doing micro training in and around as a security program in our team. Either we will do some small hackathons or sessions regarding these training programs. And after, once our team is educated, right? So we should think in terms of our story planning, that if some story we are targeting, what is the threat modeling for them, right? Do any microservice is exposing anything or not, or whatever we are creating it. So we have to give a think thought when we are doing the sprint planning. Simulation exercise. So we have to encourage our team to understand if something goes wrong and we get any ticket regarding security issues, right? How to respond on them, how quickly we have to fix them, how to put our system on hold, right? And how to handle these type of situation where business should not also impact, also will fix those type of scenarios. So we have to simulate these type of exercise also internally to train our team. So when we talk about Uber breach 2022, right? So an attacker used social engineering to trick an employee into sharing credential. Once inside, attacker moved laterally thanks to over permissive IAM policies. So here, what an attacker did, attacker just mimic the IAM role of or take the credential of any employee, and from there it inserted into the system, and they have hijacked their S3 buckets. So because they have not created the entry exit criteria on cloud server using IAM roles, and team was also not aware regarding how IAM hygiene can help them. Correct. So these type of issues comes in. What the minimal fix we can do? We can define a strict least policy, privileges policy, and segment rule. So what we can do, whatever S3 bucket we have, we can also put these type of policy like particular S3 bucket, what action we can do, either get object, put object, delete object, right? Don't expose all the operations to anyone or everyone on the certain type of S3 buckets. So this we can do as an action, right? So this particular case, Uber breach, was a perfect example of team awareness because team was not aware regarding how to handle the credentials via IAM rules. So when we talk about process, security should not be a blocker. It should be woven into every stage of development, right? So how to shift security left? We have to also move left in terms of security. We have to create CI/CD gate checks, right? So what we can do, we can always we have unit test case, build, lint, automation test suite, right? So we can add one more gate in and around, which is regarding our security pipeline. What it will do the checks of our libraries, code scan, sonar cube, right? Some sort of like that we are using any vulnerable libraries into the code, because it's an era of AI. Most of the code people are using wipe coding, right? So we don't care about what libraries this AI has been used. Might possible AI has used any vulnerable libraries, correct? So we can do or create one CI/CD checks which have this skinny, sneak and Trivi and SBOM. These type of tools, it will hit and scan and generate the report. Security as a code. So we have to define our security policies using OPA or Sentinel, right? So this enable automated enforcement of security standard and compliance requirement. So what we can do, we can create all this type of things using our on-premises authentication sort of things, right? And we can deploy into our systems this. JIT access automation means what happens, let's suppose we have a team of 5 people, and one people wants to access a production, right? So what we do, usually we create a user of that guy on the production, and he goes and do the work. But ideally it should not be the thing. Ideally only for a certain people for certain time duration we need to give the access for a certain action. So this is JIT access, just in time access. We have to give that those type of permissions, and those permissions should also have the expiry date associated with that till 1 hour, 2 hour, whatever, as per the approval of the leads or managers. So it will also reduce the risk of unauthorized access and privileges escalations. Standard workflow, right? So we have to create a standard workflows. Like if someone is coming into our team, right, what should be the right floor, what should be the right process to onboard that person, whether he or she needs to pass certain type of security based certifications or our internal Moodle courses or something like that checklist. And when someone is offboarding from our team, right, what can be the right approach to deactivate their credentials, cleaning up their data and all. So we have to standardize those workflow also. And one more thing in security as a code, right? What happens usually when we create the services in our cloud, correct? So some companies, what they do, they create these services manually. So let's suppose I am a DevOps. Currently, I know what are the best practices, and I am creating the services manually on production or pre-prod systems, right? So this is good until I am the part of the organization. Once I leave the organization, some other people came in, they created those services on their own way. So either going by manual, we have to go via Terraform or Playbook or something like that sort of things, so that these things will be streamlined, and uh, whether I will create a service or someone else, that specific script will create everything for you. So next is technology, streamlining the security tools. So when we talk about technology, we think about a lot of tools, Splunk, CloudWatch, and number of tools are there, right? Datadog and so on, so on. That whenever any service go down, it will send notification, right? So the thing is this, the maximum number of tools we will use, right? It will increase the complexity also, the debugging complexity or the triggering point, right? So one of the problem is tool overload. So lack of training. Let's suppose six or seven tools we have integrated with three, four different services, or every service have different type of tools for notifications of any service down or any security issue comes into the picture, right? So a lot of misleading information will start coming in from a lot of different services, different type of logs will come. It will increase the complexity of the system also. mm, as we increase the systems, right, that services or logging mechanism, we have to train people for different services. Again, lack of integration. We think that this system will go with this type of tool, this system will go with this type of tool, right? So again, we have to think what type of perfect technology will fit with perfect type of services. And other thing is multiple systems. Sometimes what happen, multiple systems are connected in any project, right? So we have to understand which type of system is good to go with what type of mechanism or what type of security technology. And once we have a lot of tool available, correct, everything matched up, and the complete team goes into the chaos because false alerts comes in and people got confused that some cyber attack happened. Let's suppose koi service goes down 400, 500, 403, or not authentication, these type of logs started coming in, right? So what happens, people got confused that either it is a cyber attack or whatever, it's a security miss or what. So we need to very pretty much sure in terms of technology, what tool we are using, are we at the right place or not. We have a clear visibility, clarity, and enforce simplicity towards these technology and tools. So when we talk about these tools and technology, 75% of security team miss priority issue due to alert fatigue. So Gartner has created a research and they have told that 75% of teams are unable to identify what are the right notification, what are the false positive, because a lot of alerts are started due to n number of tools has been configured. The solution is fewer tools, stronger integration. So how our cloud security measures can be done? So we have done from first unify scanning. So we have to integrate scanning tools with cloud platform. This ensures consistent vulnerability detection across environments. So I told you, like, once we check in the code, so on the basis of every check-in or pre-release or post-release, so we need to put a lot of gates, security gates like Trivi or SBOM or another tool to scan the code. Central policy enforcement, right? So we have to use IAC infrastructure as a code, which I told that everything we should go via any type of service, or our product should go via deployment of a Terraform or playbook or these type of script, because it will be always consistent for all the environment. Also, if any resource will be changed or replaced, the things will not chaos. Everything should be at the centralized policy. And this policy can be created as a standard policy, or whatever the standard policy wanted from the customer, that a VPC should be there and all the people should come to jump server to access any type of service on cloud. So these type of policy we can create. It will reduce our risk towards the misconfiguration on the deployment side. Okay, so next is single SIEM, right? Security information and event management, which I told that always focus and stick with very bare minimum SIEM tools. Like it is not like that we are using Splunk, CloudWatch, and n number of logging mechanism, right? We have to keep a Grafana and all, right? So whatever you think your team is very good or your alert system is very good configured, your microservice, just stick to that single SIEM, because there are n number of tools available. But with your what type of service you have, what is the domain your product, so keeping into this everything in mind, you have to choose the right security information and event management tool. So now we'll discuss some of the real world example with minimal fix which can be saved, right? So one was Capital One SSRF attack in 2019. So a misconfigured WAF allowed an attacker to access metadata and exfiltered 100 million credit applications. So root cause server side request forgery exploit via EC2 metadata, right? So what happened? One S3 bucket, one EC2 was properly not configured. The HTTP endpoint was exposed. So what minimal fix we can do, like whenever we are going to create any EC2 or these type of machine via Terraform, we should make sure our HTTP endpoint should be disabled so that this EC2 metadata or EC2 service will be restricted towards public IPs or public accessible. Also, we can restrict these internally. Let's suppose if someone needs to debug the EC2 also, then we should create the IAM roles. The particular people with that certain IAM role should able to debug and see what is going into the EC2. So this is one of the example of the miss. Second is Reddit MFA attack or hack 2018. So Reddit staff use SMS based two-factor authentication which got bypassed via SIM swapping. So root cause were in insecure 2FA, right? So what was happening? So Reddit was using our two-factor authentication via SIM. So one of the employee has swapped the SIM with the co-working people, right? So due to this, he got the OTP and he did that hack, right? So minimal fix is use app-based OTP or hardware key like UB key. So we can internally use UB keys for doing the two-factor authentication rather putting ourselves on any SIM based or anything else or basically OTP based, right? Third is chorus misconfiguration in API. So this is the most common example which we usually see in day-to-day development. So people usually create the microservices and they deploy it, right? So once they create the microservices, there is an option access control allow origin, right? So usually if you see a lot of the website use star here directly instead of what access is given to any particular domain. So instead of star, we should allow those scripts or those domain which are trusted for us instead of star. So this type of misconfiguration we have to check whenever we are doing any API testing or when we are creating any API based code, right? So access control allow origin, we should not give as a star. So one is open admin interface. So retail SaaS platform exposed admin panel to internet bots. So this is one of the example of Kubernetes ingress has been written, right? So what it is doing, it was doing. So as per it, one of the SaaS-based retail SaaS-based client exposed with a lot of internet bots because probably they have not white source or whitelist a particular IP. Instead, they have given star here, right? So always whenever you're writing any ingress or if you have a code which is deployed in Kubernetes, so as a QA, you should go and see that ingress, whatever written into this whitelist source range, whether it is star or certain IPs, because if any application to be used in intranet, right? So basically their intranet IP pattern should be here instead of star so that it will not be accessible to public. It should be accessible internally to the network. So these type of things we need to see as a minimalistic approach, add IP-based access control in ingress config file. So what are the takeaways from these sessions? So SaaS security minimalism pyramid. So major part always cover with least privilege. Grant only necessary access right instead of giving all the rights to everyone. Give only necessary, whatever necessary rights, only give that to the all people, and whenever required just give them JIT, just in time access for a certain time. Secure secrets management. So we have to manage or store our secrets properly in YAML files, and if any YAML is using any secret keys, right, it should be properly configured in our cloud environments, basically not in our code or not somewhere directly exposed in our YAMLs or anywhere. And whenever we are working with passwords, use proper secret management plugins, etc. So IAC enforcement, this is a very important part when we talk about deployment, right? So we should not go directly as a manual deployment. Either we should go with Terraform or Playbook or some sort of like that, so that the proper infrastructure will be spin up, and then those services will be deployed with the code compliance and proper security parameters. Third and fourth one, sorry, automated testing, early and frequent security testing. So we need to create one CI/CD gate, which will probably do the code scan using Trivi, SBOM, or other tools, right? So that whenever any code check-in or code push having any type of sensitive data or sensitive code exposed, right? Sometime user password name or sometime IPs or anything, it will directly catch in that place also. And last is audit and reduce, regularly review and eliminate unnecessary elements. So this is something which we can do on the release basis. We should go with any vulnerability test, VAPT sort of thing, so that we'll get to know either we are using anything which is exploratory for us for cyber attack or any type of thing. So we have to do a regular audit using Bobsuit or Zap or anything, or third party vendor we can take if that's a very big enterprise application, to see if something has been not added and messed up our system. So I have some closing notes. The quicker and cleaner your architecture, the harder it to break. So we have to create a very clean architecture, and we have to be very understandable what tools and what proper monitoring or logging tools we have to use, and notification alarming tools. So we have to be very clear and crisp while designing our solution. We have some security principle. Secure default, security measure enabled automatically, automation mindset. We have to create the mindset of automation, that we will expose one gate of CI/CD, right? So it will block it whenever required. Minimal permissions, granting least privileges, access control instead of given all control to everyone. Very precise, who will go to the production, who will go to the UAT, and who will accessible to below UAT. So it should be very clear. And infrastructure as a code, whatever we are deploying on infrastructure, it should go as a IaaS instead of any manual deployment. So these are the four security principles which will make you safe from any type of SaaS based security approach. So these are the few references I have used for Accenture, over GitHub, Capital One, Reddit, British Airways, MNS Hack. So these are few of the references which I have used in this PPT. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So any questions, guys?
Yeah. So if any questions,
Is there any tools which can automatically identify this? I know there are some SAST and DAS tools and Sonar Cube. People are being utilized in order to identify and try to prevent these security vulnerabilities. On top of it, they will do the pen testing. But being a QA without knowing anything about the security side, how a QAs can utilize this browser or any other means which can start utilizing and provide their feedback to the development team or the
Yeah.
particular stakeholders.
So for a QA to start with, what they can do, they can just integrate their browser with Zap or Burpsuit, right? They have a plugin available where you can create a proxy network with your browser, between your application browser, between it you can integrate Burpsuit. So whatever, if I'm not knowing anything on security, just open your application, run it step by step, module by module. It will start analyzing the flow, the API side, what are the vulnerabilities, similarly like access control or some sort of front end code. So these type of scan, it will start automatically. So by this we can start as a QA to analyze and see. Basically, it will give you the flexibility to check OSAP top 10 automatically from the browser side, whatever best they can do. So this you can do as a baby step. And next is we can also integrate SBOM and Trivi scripts into our CI/CD pipelines. So whenever any commit will happen, it will directly scan all the libraries and backend code everything and give that criticality of the code which has been pushed. And third, you already told that Sonar Cube. So Sonar Cube also we can put into the gates.
And second question, I'm saying if anybody want to ask, I would like to be silent. But in the meantime, if nobody asks, you can take this question. So nowadays we are getting these agents like perplexity agents in the browsers itself. So is there any practical usage you have seen utilizing these agents in terms of security? Will they are they finding it? I'm saying I would like to know from you, utilizing these AI agents, how you guys have used.
So utilizing AI agent is correct, and I have used these perplexity agents, right? So to be very frank, I am not able to see that benchmark where it is beating Bubsuit or Zap, because their results are more on hypothetical level, and they are majorly they are not giving that much accurate results. So for that, uh, in the last you have to explicitly go with VAPT scans only. They are not, they just give you the high level overview that these type of error, like whether you are missing some sort of header into the APIs or not, or expose username password, this type of thing they will cover, but they will not spoof your application or send lot of traffic in the backend to see proper HTTP error code are coming or not. Auth authentication, JWT, they are not able to do that type of scans, breaks basically.
Okay. And last
Sorry,
question,
sorry,
are any
Rakesh, I interrupt.
yeah, yeah,
Can you
please.
please?
I will connect with you, Rohit.
Yeah, yes,
Let
yes,
me
yes. We are
get
out of
more
the time
information.
already. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Sure. Over to you, Shemai. Thank you, Rohit, for the wonderful session.
I hope like it was very speedy session because lack of time.
Yes.
Whatever I can do it on high level. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rohit, for your wonderful session.